Hi, I'm Bill Woodard, and welcome to the July edition of the Smith County Chamber Corner. Thanks for tuning in. We're really excited about the show today. I hope we've got, and we almost know we have a lot of really good information for you and something that you can use. We think you're going to enjoy this show, so stay with us. Right now, we'd like to cut away. Our good friends at UT Extension have some things for us, and we're going to start out with Mr. Chris Hicks.
Hi, I'm Chris Hicks with UT Extension in Smith County. Appreciate the opportunity to be on the Chamber Corner this month. When we have our Master Beef class each fall, I normally talk about weeds, and in that class I'll ask, what is the most expensive herbicide? And the farmers who take that class will answer various products. They might say Brash, or they might say Grazon, or they may say Pasture Guard, but the correct answer, the one I'm looking for, is that the most expensive herbicide is the herbicide that doesn't work. And so whether you're a gardener, homeowner, or farmer, if you apply a herbicide and it doesn't work, it was pretty expensive, even if it seemed cheap when you bought it at the store. So today I want to talk about 5 reasons that your spray may not work, why your herbicide may not work. And reason number 1 is maybe you used the wrong product for the weed you're trying to kill. Some products are designed to kill grasses, some are designed to kill broadleaf weeds, and so if you use a grass herbicide on a broadleaf weed, you're going to be disappointed, and vice versa. Also, even among herbicides that are designed to kill, say, a broadleaf weed, some are just better on certain species than others. There are some species of weeds that are just harder to kill, and so you might need a different herbicide for those plants. And at the UT Extension office, we give herbicide recommendations free of charge. Your taxpayer dollars pay for that service, and so check us out at UT Extension and we'll help you with herbicide recommendations. But one reason they don't work, sometimes those herbicides don't work, is because you maybe used the wrong product. A second reason your herbicide might not have worked is you failed to use a surfactant. Surfactants work by breaking the surface tension of the waxy coat of those plants. If you see some weeds have a really waxy coat, and that surfactant breaks that surface tension, allows that herbicide to be absorbed in the plant. That's why a lot of folks, maybe you've heard people use dishwashing liquid and as a surfactant to break that surface tension. Now there's some better products on the market than dishwashing liquid, things that don't make as many suds and as much of a mess as dishwashing liquid and are more effective. But that's why those products are used, is because they actually improve the effectiveness of the herbicide. Now, a third reason that your weed spray may not have worked is maybe your sprayer wasn't calibrated properly. This is one we see a lot at the Extension office, is someone has sprayed and maybe they thought they were going to get to spray 10 acres and they actually covered 15 acres. So you think about what that means. That means they put 10 acres worth of herbicide in the tank, but actually covered 15 acres. So they covered too much ground for the amount of herbicide they had in the tank. The herbicide is not going to work as well when that's the case. So it's important to take time to make sure your sprayer is properly calibrated. Again, this is something UT Extension can help you with. We have publications, we have videos about sprayer calibration, and occasionally we actually come out and do sprayer calibration demonstrations and can help you on a one-on-one basis with sprayer calibration if that's something you're interested in. A fourth reason why your spray may not have worked is maybe you didn't spray at the right time. And I'm not so much talking about time of day as time of that weed's life. When those weeds are young and actively growing, they are much easier to kill typically than weeds that have already gone to seed, that are older, that are more mature. So you want to spray that plant when it's young, when it's tender and it's actively growing, because once it puts a seed head on, once it's taller than me, it's hard to kill those plants. And so if you sprayed at the wrong time, you may be disappointed with your results. And again, if you sprayed at the wrong rate, kind of the same deal. How do you know what rate to use? Well, you have the herbicide label, and that label is the law. I know that the label can be confusing. It's got a lot of words and a lot of things that maybe don't interest you, but the label is really important because it tells you what rate to spray the weeds you have. Now, to know what weeds you have to properly identify those, and once again, that's something the UT Extension Office can help you with, is figuring out exactly what weeds you have so you can get those rates correct on the herbicide that you choose to use. A fifth reason that we often see herbicides not working properly is just environmental conditions. Sometimes you apply a herbicide and the weatherman said no rain in the forecast, and then 20 minutes later, right after you sprayed, it comes a big rain shower and washes that herbicide off. Or if you're spraying and it's really hot, it's really dry, those plants are weak, they're not actively growing like we talked about, your herbicide's not going to be as effective. Now here's the thing that we're going to talk about today that UT Extension can help you with. We can't help you with the weather, we don't control that. But these other things we've talked about, when we talk about what product to use, what rate to use, properly identifying the weeds, picking out a surfactant, calibrating a sprayer, those are things that we can help you with at the UT Extension Office. Our office is available, and we are open right now to the public by appointment, so call our office and make an appointment, 615-735-2900, or check out our website at smith.tennessee.edu, and on that website you'll find a lot of publications about weed control, sprayer calibration, and things like that that'll hopefully be of use to you. If we can be of assistance to you in your weed control efforts, please give us a call or stop by and see us at the UT Extension Office. Once again, thanks to the Smith County Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to be on the Chamber Corner this month.
Up next, we've got Miss Mary Parker Draper with the UT Extension.
Hey everyone, it's Mary Draper with UT Extension in Smith County. Due to COVID-19, many people might not be able to go on a vacation this year. However, you can still have an economically friendly staycation. Some ideas for the family are, you can have a camp out at home. You can set up a tent inside or outside the house. You can have your favorite grilled food such as hot dogs and hamburgers, and you can even set up a bonfire for s'mores. You can also, if you have a projector, make a drive-in movie theater at your house. Set up the projector to play a movie in front of your home or on the garage door or on a sheet. Grab some blankets and chairs, or for a full-on movie theater, drive-in movie theater experience, you can also pull up your car. You can also have a family game night. You can do indoor board games, or you can play outdoor games such as water balloons, hide and go seek, tag, and lawn games such as cornhole. You can also, for a more educational experience, have a scavenger hunt in the backyard. For more information on FCS-related topics, contact the Extension Office at 615-735-2900.
Well, thank you, Mary Leslie, for being here. You came in with your mask on, so I thought I'd better pull mine up too, but since we've social distanced here, I believe we can probably do away with the mask. If you want to pull yours all the way off, you can. It's a new world, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But, we wear the mask not really to protect ourselves, but to protect others. So to me, it's very worthwhile to wear my mask.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that with Dr. Duke at some point during the program. And I think it's something, but we won't get off on side issues. You've come to talk about the Drug Prevention Coalition.
That's right.
And what's going on with them. You've got some announcements and things that you'd like to talk about?
I do, Billy. One thing that we do about every 2 years, it's called the Tennessee Young Adult Survey, and it really targets people ages 18 to 25, which is really our hardest group to get to take surveys, but really they give us so much good information. education. So we're asking people if you can just scan this right here. It's on our website. It pulls up the survey. It's very short to do, and if you do it, you're entered in a drawing for a $100 gift certificate.
Oh, wow.
So that's a good deal. So really, if you're between that age group or you know anybody in that age group, encourage them to take our survey because it's very, very helpful to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, what else is going on?
We're doing our teacher in service. We did one last month and we had about 35 teachers. This time we're going to be moving it to the ag centers so we can social distance, but the presentation will be done by Zoom, the presenter, and that's what we did last time, and it worked out very, very well. So I'm not sure if we're full to capacity yet on that, but if you hadn't signed up, you can call the Board of Education to sign up, and we'll probably limit it to about 36 because we want to make sure we have enough food and supplies for everybody.
Okay, and this is an in-service about, what's the subject?
It's mental health. It's youth mental health. I think that's a requirement for most teachers, so we try to get different presenters to do that every year.
Okay, now you do seminars and things like that that are open to the public as well at times during the year. Is that correct?
Yes, actually we try to do several different trainings. Of course, Suzanne and Colby do trainings for Narcan, and with our new move, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself here, Billy, but the coalition is going to be moving to 115 Water Street, which is right behind the courthouse. But also, the Mayor Mason has very graciously given us a room in the historic courthouse that Colby and Suzanne will be able to do trainings in that room. So we're excited. We're expanding, and we feel like we'll be more visual to the community and more accessible to the community with our new move.
Okay, well, looking forward to that for sure then. Any other announcements that you need to make?
Yes, we also have these new resource books, okay? We've had several. Our resource list is more for the resources in Smith County. This is resources for the whole Upper Cumberland, and it's very comprehensive, as you can see, all the hotline numbers, rehabs, just about any kind of information that you need. So if any of your businesses would like these, we can give them to you. They're free. We'll be glad to bring them to your office, and you can give them out to your clients.
And we'd obviously like to have some here at the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else upcoming?
I don't think so, Billy. I think that's it.
All right. Well, this is Miss Mary Leslie Wakefield, and Mary, thank you for what you do in the community. You are a registered nurse, is that right? Or yeah.
I am. I still have my license, so I can say I am, but I am retired.
Okay. Well, I knew that, and so if you're getting advice from Miss Mary Leslie, it's based in fact, and she has the experience, and so we appreciate you being there.
I have to say, a lot of my information I've been getting from Dr. Duke. He posts just about every day on Facebook, and his information has been so, I guess, educational. And you hear so much conflicting information, and he kind of boils it down, and you hear the truth, or I feel like it's the truth. So that's where most of my information has come, and he has not led me wrong yet, so I'm going to stick with him.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Well, thank you for coming by, and we'll be talking to you maybe again next month.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, we're here with Jessica. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them who you're with.
Okay. All right. Hello, my name is Jessica Murphy. I am with the Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition. And like Mary Leslie, I'm going to give you guys some updates about some stuff, but I'm going to talk about the spot. So I actually work over there as well. I'm doing both. So so the last thing that we did that was really cool, we went kayaking like a week or two ago and took all the kids, and it was down by Defeated, so we had a really good time there. I even learned how to kayak for the first time, so that was exciting. I kind of got over my fear of doing that, and I did that, so that was fun. And then some upcoming stuff, we're keeping it really simple and easy for the kids. It's been hard to social distance because kids love hugging each other and being around each other, and
Right,
it's
that
been
doesn't
hard
work well with them.
trying to keep each other apart from each other, but it's been great, and they've been really willing to kind of learn from us, and we're learning from them too. So I think the next thing we're doing is we're swimming at Miss Barbara Knapple's house next week. So any kiddos want to come hang out with us and swim.
Okay, well now what is the requirement to come to the spot and participate as a young person?
If you just have an interest in, learning to be drug-free, alcohol-free as a teenager, I would say. We have some kids that are like 9, 10 years old, but that's the really younger age. It's more geared toward like 14 to 15-year-olds.
Well, it's my understanding that you even do music lessons and things like that.
Yes, we do on Wednesday nights. So if you're interested in doing that, you want to learn a musical instrument, Wednesday nights are the days to go.
And there's a pretty wide range of musical instruments, if I understand.
Mr. Don he's a magician when it comes to music, so he can teach you just about anything you want to play.
Well, and I know they have a couple of groups that have been born out of that, and they actually perform at different places and are quite good.
Yeah.
So that's very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, the spot, when is it open, and how do they get in touch to find out about stuff if they need to?
Well, you can call anytime you want. We kind of open Monday nights. We're doing about 4 to 6, and it's all kids. I know back when school was going on, it was Monday nights were boys, Tuesday nights were girls. Wednesdays was the music class, and then Thursdays was choosing to change. So it's still kind of that, except we're cutting out Tuesdays right now and just doing all kids on Mondays. Wednesday nights are still the music classes, and Thursdays are still choosing to change. So Mondays, we really like any kids can come if they want, if they're willing. You can bring your friends. And then Thursdays are usually our court-ordered kids that have to be there.
Okay, now where is it located?
That's a good question. I don't know the exact address, but I know that it's near the square.
It's on, is it Ward Avenue?
Ward Avenue, there you go.
It's Ward Avenue, right off of Main Street.
Yes, it's a big green
Go
building.
down Main Street and you turn, when you see Citizens Bank on the left there, Ward Avenue is right there, and you turn down and it's the second building on the right,
There
correct?
we go. He knows more about it than I do. Y'all have to forgive me, I'm from Livingston, so.
Well, that's okay. What about the phone number? Do you remember that?
I do not.
You do not? Well, call 735-2093 and we'll get you the phone number to the spot if you want to be involved in that. And I know Jessica would love to have you.
Yes,
Jessica, let me ask you, do we need to try to take up a collection to get you some jeans with knees in it?
Sorry. I was feeling really holy, so I wore my holy breeches
Oh,
today.
there you go. Well, we're so glad you came with to be with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Okay, we're here with Dr. Roger Duke. And Dr. Duke, you may want to just tell them what your capacity is here in a moment, but we have social distance enough, so I believe we can take our masks down.
I think we can.
And allow people to kind of see what we're saying.
See who we are, see our ugly mugs.
There you go. I've had several comment since I've started wearing a mask, I look better.
Well, you know what? People tell me that, and I wonder why. Now I know. That's the answer. It passed me right over my head before.
But anyway, and I went ahead and pulled, well, Dr. Duke here is you're the chairman of our Smith County Corona Task Force.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and what I did, we had a Corona Task Force meeting here just, 2 days ago?
2 days ago, right.
And we had, we better not start naming names, but there was probably 30 people that are involved in various functions in the county that were attending that meeting. We do it by phone, and we get information about what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. And I went ahead and pulled some of the charts, and if you can't see them well enough, we can, this is on Facebook. We posted them on Facebook at the Smith County Chamber and also the Smith County, Tennessee Facebook page. And if you want to see these somewhere else, you can contact DTC or the Smith County Chamber or several different people, and we can get them.
Or generally on my Facebook page as
Okay.
well. I try to post as much of this as I can.
How is your Facebook page listed?
It's Roger Duke, and I was going to change it to Dr. Roger Duke. This is so old, but it wouldn't let me change the name. So it says Roger Duke, and under it says Doctor or whatever. So it's Roger Duke.
All right, so you can go and look at these charts if you want to on
Yes.
Dr. Duke's page. And what I wanted to talk about today, and it may wind up being lengthy, is Smith County in particular. Now, I know some of you folks out there, you don't live in Smith County, but I believe this topic will be on mark for you where you live too, because we're talking about this pandemic, and it has touched the entire world.
Yes, it has.
Okay, now in Smith County, I know as of, and I'm going to go ahead and, I don't normally do this, but the date today is July is it the 9th?
The 8th.
8th. It's July the 8th.
It's my birthday today, so
Congratulations.
that's the only reason why I know what day it is.
Okay.
Otherwise, they all run together.
Yeah. Okay, July the 8th.
Yes.
And as of today, where do we stand statistically in Smith County with the COVID-19?
We have 136 confirmed cases, okay? And that's up 12 cases, new cases from yesterday. So we increased by 12 cases, new cases in 24 hours. And we increased the death. We're up to 2 deaths now in Smith County.
Do you have a speculation or a comment on why our cases have went up?
Most certainly I do. It's because folks are not following the guidelines. They're not doing the things, the very simple things that they're supposed to do. And what's requested of them, what the CDC recommends, what the Tennessee Department of Public Health recommends. Very simple things. We've even got a poster of it here. It's just very simple things, but we just find that so many people, for one reason or the other, and it still boggles my mind as to why, but so many people just will not follow those guidelines.
Well, I would like to comment. I've had some discussions with folks over the last 3 months, and I think the discussion is kind of changing as time goes on, as people learn things. It's not Christianity or a religious-based thing at all, whether you follow these guidelines, and it's not a political thing at all, whether you follow these guidelines, because this virus, it has no religious affiliation and it has no political affiliation. Am I not correct about that?
You are 100%. And I hate to say preach because it sounds like I'm putting religion into it, but for a lack of a better term, I preach that on a regular basis. It sees no color, it sees no social class, it sees no religion, it sees no politics, it sees nothing. This virus, it crosses boundaries. It doesn't see state boundaries, county boundaries. It just doesn't see any of that. It is a thing of nature, and it has no affiliation in any of those respects whatsoever.
Okay, and one of the things that seems to be coming out, and I went and just before this session, I pulled up a CDC video, and it was talking about masks in particular, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because I perceive this from what I get off CDC, but you can fit several thousand, maybe 100,000 bacteria on a head of a pin.
Millions.
Okay, millions on a head of a pin.
Maybe even billions.
Okay, and it is my understanding that you can fit a lot of coronavirus on a bacteria.
Oh, absolutely.
It is so small.
Yes, absolutely.
So when I was
they're
looking,
half micron in size, which that's a micron is 1,000th of a meter, or 1,000,000th of a meter. Excuse me. So it's just so small.
And what they do, I know I've got hand sanitizer, and I know they're talking about how Lysol. By the way, Lysol does kill it. and sunlight kills it. Those are two facts
Yeah.
that you can look up. But
if they're done now, let me help you just a little bit with that. It's sunshine does if it's on it long enough.
Right.
Okay, if it's on it long
It
enough,
has to be on it
sunshine.
several
the
minutes.
Device, yeah, for several minutes. Same thing with Lysol and a lot of the disinfectants. That's why you need to read the disinfectant and make sure it stays on the amount of time it's supposed to in order to disinfect it.
the one I remember, the Lysol, it said 3 minutes.
I believe it is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it is.
That's
I believe
that's the one I'm remembering.
Yeah, just whatever it says on the instructions, that's the way you should use it.
I guess the point I'm making, and I'm kind of making statements but asking questions at the same
absolutely.
time. If you wear a mask, then you are taking something that small is going to pass through a mask. But what people don't realize is that this virus rides on the air that we are breathing, and if you wear a mask, you just impeded that airflow, and if you have a mask on, you've impeded the inspiration of the air. And so what happens is we have given ourselves a modicum of protection that we don't have if we don't have a mask on, because the airflow, it changes.
Well, a little. It's a little bit different from that, but basically you're right. First of all, the main thing is we wear masks to protect other people. It protects me if I have it from giving it to somebody else. It has very little to no protection for me if somebody else has it and not wearing the mask. So that's what this slide shows you.
Yeah, this one, it says the N95, KN95 mask protects you from others that may have COVID-19 and protects others from you if you have or may have. Face coverings or disposal masks like the one that I have, and the homemade. And by the way,
the one that I have on it now.
It protects others from you if you have or may have COVID-19.
Right.
And the one thing I thought was interesting, I've watched several videos, and the homemade masks that have double layers are actually more effective than any of the other coverings that you can get.
Let me. I'll get to that. Let me go back just a little bit and explain a little bit about why this works to keep us, if somebody has it, from getting out. Those viruses, they're so small, they ride on water droplets. That's where they hitch a ride on water droplets. And when I say water droplets, moisture droplets. When you breathe, if you notice, when you breathe on a mirror on a surface,
there's a fog.
There's a fog. Well, those little tiny little drops of liquid that you breathe out, that, by the way, evaporates pretty fast. If you breathe on a mirror and you just hold it, it goes away. And what that's doing is it's evaporating. It's so small, those little water droplets are evaporating. So millions, each one of those little tiny water droplets that you breathe out, that's so small that you can't even see them hardly with a microscope. Each one of those may carry millions of viruses on it from you when you breathe it out. And so when you breathe it out, now these masks, just the homemade masks, they'll catch those water droplets, and it kills it catches the water droplets as it goes out. That fog, it catches that fog, thereby catching the virus so it doesn't go out. Now, people say, well, why doesn't it do it when you're coming back in? Why doesn't it protect you? It's the same virus. Remember, I said when you breathe out, that fog is water droplets. It goes out, and you notice how quick it starts drying up. Okay, and when it starts drying up, what it does, it leaves all those little things that hitched a ride, all those millions of viruses that hitched a ride that are so light, they're just floating around in air. And those can go through these, but they can't go through it when they're riding on the water droplets. So that's why it protects. Now, they won't go through the N95. That's why the N95 works both ways. So if I don't have this on and I breathe that out and I have the COVID-19, once that gets out there, in just a matter of seconds, it starts drying, and those little viruses, they're so light and so small, they just hang in the air for a long period of time. And you walk by, or you're standing closer than what we are, and you breathe in, and they go right into your nostril, and those are where the T-zone, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, are the only thing that has cells that will not the only place, but for the most part, the only place in the body that has cells that this virus can infect. So that's what happens. So that's why these, the big thing is, why am I supposed to wear one of these if it's not protecting me? Well, it's not protecting you. It's protecting the wearer from giving it. You're doing it for your fellow man.
And the thing that gets me is that you could pass through one of those clouds of virus, breathe it in, get infected, be asymptomatic, and give it to someone and never show any signs of it. In fact, I think that happened to you, didn't it?
It did. I was wearing my mask. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was this one, but one very similar to this. I was using my disinfectant. I went to this, I won't say where I went, but anyway, I had to go to a meeting. I was doing everything I was supposed to, but there was an individual there that was a very educated, he was an accountant, I'll put it that way. And wasn't in this state, by the way. I had to go to another meeting. And it was a very small office, and he came in, bebopping in, and he kind of made fun of me because I had my mask on. He said, are you afraid of me or something? I said, well, I'm director of the Corona Task Force. I just know that asymptomatic people, well, I haven't got it. Okay, well, you haven't got it. Well, as it turned out, 3 days later, I got a call from the Kentucky Department of Public Health, and his accounting firm made them do screening, and he came up positive. Never had a symptom one. That afternoon, I started getting the symptoms, and then I got tested the next day. Of course, I didn't get my results back, but it's left me with some permanent lung damage. I'm short of breath now as we speak. Okay. So yes, and we know that about 35 to 40% of the people that have it are either asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic. Pre-symptomatic means they've got the symptoms before they they can pass the virus. They have it and can pass the virus before they have the symptoms, and now we're looking at what we call a silent spreader. And a silent spreader, we think there's probably more than the 35 and 40%. And the reason why it's hard to determine that is because people with no symptoms, unless you have a screen, they don't get tested, so they don't come up. So it's kind of hard to know what that number is. But there's other methods that we use to know that there are a lot of people out there that have it and just have no symptoms whatsoever, but they're still spreading it. So you can't depend on saying, okay, I'm not going to wear my mask because I'm not sick, so I don't have it. That doesn't work. So you wear your mask to keep from spreading it to other individuals. There's just thousands and thousands of lives that we can save if just everybody would do something very simple. And in the state of Tennessee, these are free.
Right, they'll give you those to you.
They'll give them to you. So,
well, I guess it all boils down to we need to think about if we want to help others, then maybe we want to consider wearing a mask. And these charts kind of show that. And here is the Smith County chart up to July the 7th, and it's showing that we're on an upward trend.
It is, and you'll see there for about 2 days or 3 days, I don't know if you can see the colors or not, but the one that has the very tall spike on it, if you'll follow that one, that's the actual number of new cases per day, and you'll see that it looks like it's going down, but the green line is a 7-day moving average. Which it was calculated in, and that shows that it maybe look like it's coming down, but the red line is a calculated trend line, and that shows if unless something changes, it's not going to do better. It's going to be worse.
Hence, the next day we had 12 cases.
Right. Yeah. Hence, the next day we had 12 cases. So that's going to bring that moving average line back up to match the trend line. Mm-hmm. So, and a good thing to think about over on the right side there, for the 14 days that was looking at, we were averaging 5.14 new cases a day in Smith County. 5.14 new cases a day.
So it's here.
Right.
Okay.
And I want to talk about these two.
All right. Well, why don't you go through the other charts and explain them, and then we'll wrap up with just recommendations.
Okay. This one I think is very, very important. And the reason why it's very important is because so many people tell me, well, I'm not worried about all this other stuff. How many people are dying? How many people are dying? Well, first of all, today we had an increase in the number. Well, let me go back. every set of numbers that I publish today, and I do them every day on my Facebook page, every day, I get a download from the Tennessee Department of Public Health. So these numbers come from the Tennessee Department of Health. So you have to remember that at best, those numbers of new cases and all these total cases, what we're looking at is what really happened about 7 days or 3 to 5 days. And now, because there's so many tests being done, it's probably 7 days beforehand. Because it takes that long from the time I swab you and I put it in the container, I send it to the lab, and nowadays the labs are so inundated with the numbers, it takes them a day or two to get it done, then they have to report it, then it has to go to the Tennessee Department of Public Health. Tennessee Department of Health just don't take that as saying, oh, okay, that's positive. They do a confirmation thing on it. It's pretty complex to make sure when they're saying it is a COVID case. I get that all the time. Well, how do we know it's a COVID case? Well, because the Tennessee Department of Health, they don't just take all these words for it. I mean, it's a very systematic way. The way they've done it for decades and decades with other contagious diseases, not just neurosciasis. But by the time all that gets done and it comes out on the numbers we're seeing from total cases, new cases, we're always chasing it. It's about 7 days old now. It's 3 to 5 on a good day. So that's one thing. So just try to keep that in mind. We're always lagging behind. Now, hospitalizations, these hospitalization numbers, they're usually about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks behind. Why is that so? Because they do not report that to the public health until the patient is discharged from the hospital, the attestation sheet's done, it's coded by ICD-10 codes. It's a whole complex thing. Then it's reported to the Tennessee Department of Public Health. They go through that same confirmation process, and then it's reported. So we're looking at anything we're talking about hospitalizations, we're looking at what happened about 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe even 5 weeks ago. Now, deaths, sometimes you're looking at what happened 2 months ago, because that has to go through a whole different process. The death certificate, which is a legal document, has to be filled out, and that is it's a legal document, and they ship them back to the physicians all the time when they're not filled out appropriately. I keep hearing people say all the time, well, if they have a car accident and they got COVID, they die with COVID, and it goes on. It's not that way. It has to be attributed, the death has to be attributed to COVID the way it's coded on the death certificate legally before it ever goes in. Then it goes through the confirmation page. So sometimes it's 2, maybe even 3 months before we see a death that actually happened. So just to give everybody a sense of why, when I start seeing some of these early indicators, I'm blowing the whistle on the train. I'm going, get out of the way, heed my warning. I see these early indicators, and if you wait till the late indicators come up, you're shutting the barn door after the horse is already out. It's too late then. Mm-hmm. But so death and hospitalization are 2 things that is a result of this. But just because the cases have gone up and we've gone past 10 new cases per 100,000 over a 100,000 population over a 14-day period, we reach a situation where the Tennessee Department of Public Health says no long-term care facilities, such as our nursing homes and our assisted living places, they can't have visitors now. It shut the visitors off. And that's so sad. Just because the number of new cases has gone up, and I'm glad they do that, because there's a reason for doing that. But so there's so many ramifications for this other than death and hospitalization.
Well, in the task force meeting the other day, one of the caregivers, Judy Markham, who is with the pavilion, she mentioned mentally how that affects the patients and not being able to see their families and things like that. So it takes a toll, even though you're doing the right thing and keeping people safe, it's also taking a toll on them mentally and possibly even physically.
That's right. But if one person gets in, as we've seen it in a lot of the nursing homes in our sister counties, you get one person in there with COVID, and most every one of those people are immunocompromised, and it'll wipe out a whole nursing home in just a matter of weeks.
Well, and we've been very blessed here. We do not have any cases in our correctional or jail facility or any of the nursing homes that I am aware of.
That's right. Yeah, and I'm not either. I'm certain in the nursing home and the assisted living, and I'm fairly certain in the Chief Roberts was not on the call, but they usually tell me if they have something. I get a report of that.
I talked with Beth. We were going to have the sheriff come do an interview, and I don't know that he has been able to make it, but
they're doing everything far above and beyond,
job.
Which is what they should be doing, and I commend them for that.
And she did mention that as of the date I talked to her, they did not have a positive case.
And as of last week, they didn't. But I didn't get a chance to talk to Eugene, the chief. But I don't think usually that I'm one of the first people they call if we have a problem somewhere. So
right, well, it makes sense because you're task force chairman.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we went through the charts and everything.
One other thing on the chart.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
This is Tennessee, and you can see these are number of new cases a day, and you can see where it has started spiking. This looks at new cases in Tennessee. Okay. So you can see, and before a few weeks ago, it was just Tennessee, but that is the Upper Cumberland district, and you can see it's slightly behind Tennessee, but we're beginning to match what Tennessee's doing. We're beginning to match what Tennessee's doing.
Yeah, it does look that way.
Yeah. So it's not just Tennessee. You know, I've had so many people go, well, this is somewhere other than us or around here. Well, you can look at Smith County up there, and we can see what we're doing. You can look at the Upper Cumberland area. So just because we've been lucky so far, that doesn't mean we're going to be.
Well,
So
if we take the precautions and we
take
listen,
the precautions,
then
that's it.
we can dodge this.
Yeah.
Because there are places that are doing it now.
And the main precaution, just recently, we knew that you could always transmit by touching your face, and by respiratory, the respiratory method. And we found out that the very main way that you transmit it is mouth and nose and that sort of thing. Yeah. You can get it by the hands. By the way, you can have it on your hands all day long as you don't touch your T-zone, which is the eyes, nose, and face. You won't catch it. It doesn't go through your skin. It has to go through those membranes. So you don't necessarily have to wear gloves. You just have to not if you touch something, sanitize your hands before you touch your face. And you can keep it on your hands all day long, and you will not catch it. It's not caught that way. It's not caught on food. You can eat food with it on it. It doesn't work as well. So again, the main thing that's going to save lives and to cut this down is what I came in wearing and what you have on. That's it. That's the main thing that we need to do.
Okay. Well, Dr. Duke, thank you for coming. Was that your closing, or do you want to add anything?
Oh, I could talk all day about it.
Well, I understand it because it is such a serious subject.
It is.
Well, we really appreciate you coming. And folks, if you've got any questions about this, you can go to Dr. Duke's Facebook page. You can also look on the Chamber Facebook page and the Chamber page and call us.
I get hundreds of questions a day, literally hundreds of questions a day on Facebook and email and whatever. And what I try to do, obviously I can't answer all of those individually. And if I miss your question, I apologize if I don't answer, because I want to do that. I want to educate and keep this county safe. This county means a lot to me. I love the people of this county, and I want to keep it safe. So what I try to do is to put the questions, kind of group them in together and make a posting to answer that in a broad way. Yeah. But if I don't get to your question, just send me another one. So ask it again, and I'll eventually get to it. It may be 2 a.m, but I'll get to it.
Okay. Well, thank you, and we will keep doing this. In fact, Dr. Duke, open invitation when we do our next month. Probably be a good time for you to come and give us an update then. Because I think until this virus is behind us, and someday it will be, I think we need to be staying on board with what are actual facts and not listening to rumors and things of that nature. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming. And
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and we will have you back.
All right, thank you.
Well, we want to thank Mayor Mason for coming, and Mayor, we're kind of in an unusual time right now. You've been faced with some things that you sure didn't expect and no one else did. And it seems to me that you're handling them well and things are going well. And I just wanted to invite you over today to talk to us about Smith County and some of the positive stuff that's going on, because I know there is. And so, folks, if you don't know him, this is Mayor Jeff Mason, and he's basically our county executive. He runs things around here. So, Mayor, you want to do an opening statement, so to speak?
Well, I thank you, Bill. Thank you for inviting me to by. It's always good to come and sit down and discuss things with you guys. I appreciate the work you guys do at the chamber and getting out the news and doing these things. There's sometimes that I get a chance to be here, and other days, there's busy and there's other things. But you guys always do a good job of putting this show together, and it's always good to be here to do it. I think the last time I did it, we were at the old courthouse.
Yeah.
It may have been Christmas. So, yeah, and it's been kind of, I laughed the other day and told somebody that the last, I guess it's 4 months now, has been the longest 15 years of my life. It's, nobody saw what was coming with 2020, or, we've different. We start the month of March with a tornado in our community, and shortly thereafter we're in the middle of a pandemic, and it's just from here, and who would have thought that the tornado and all that would have been probably the easiest part of it, because again, our Smith County people shined as they always do. They jumped in, they helped, they dug in, it's I still amazed that week. I had so many phone calls, so many emails, texts. Hey, what do you need? Hey, what can we do? And it was overwhelming, because we were trying to figure out what had to be done and what needed to be done. And we ended up, we probably had more help than we had work to do, because a lot of times it would be, well, my insurance is going to take care of it, or but there was opportunities. I saw it. I'll brag on Rick Garros. There was a guy had a tree on his house. It wasn't, he just needed the tree gone. I picked the phone up. I called Rick, and he said, "I'll be right there." And so Rick was there and took care of it. And I saw that just so many times. And then we had, I think that was on Friday, I ran into a church group from Franklin, Kentucky. They were out just looking around for something to do, and then there was a group from Martin, Tennessee on Saturday, and we sent them some, they had tractors and chainsaws and equipment, and we sent them to some areas, and they really helped. So it was just a blessing. We had the gentleman set up at the barbecue, selling or giving the barbecue, cooking the meals for the first,
right, and giving it away.
Yeah, on Saturday. So it was just it's amazing to see that, and I've said it from the get-go, we're still what's right with the world in Smith County, and our people are still good because we still take care of each other.
Well, and one thing that was born out of that, you and I had a conversation about a disaster relief fund, and we kind of started asking people, and that got formed.
It did. It got formed. Funded a committee, and they've done a great job.
They sure have.
They've helped people, with tornadoes, fire, whatever. It's been a great thing.
Well, just yesterday, and I'm sure you probably know this, there was a house fire, and these people basically lost everything. And that afternoon after the fire, the disaster relief fund was giving them money, so they didn't have any clothes.
Yeah.
And they were giving them money for clothes and helping them out, and continued to help them out. Yeah. And that was exactly what that fund was for.
Exactly. It started out of a tornado, ended up, now there's a pretty hefty bank account there for any kind of emergencies. So, if you're listening at home and you run across, you have a disaster, feel free, there's money there to help.
Yeah, and it's for people in Smith County. By the way, if you're out there and you want to donate to the Smith County Disaster Relief Fund, you can just bring it here to the chamber or the mayor's office, and it will go straight into that fund. It is a 501c3 tax-deductible donation, and it will stay here and be used only for folks in Smith County that fall on hard times.
Yes, and got a committee together, and they meet and they make those decisions. It's not a me and Bill decision. It is a committee of all walks. You've got
we got a pharmacist to it. We got a teacher, EMS,
community, social, community service work. So it's real estate agents. So it's a broad spectrum, and and so they do a great job, and we're proud of that and that getting started, and
yeah, I want to keep that going, and,
Yes.
I think it's a really good thing.
because you just look around and at any day, and it's so true anymore that you never know what's going to happen to you or your family by the afternoon.
Well,
Life-
exactly.
The old commercial, life comes at you fast. That rings true and truer every day, because you look at the tornado and like that, and then a pandemic that that's changed
the way we live.
the way we live for the last 3 or 4 months. I mean, and things are maybe trending back closer to normal, but will they ever be the same as they were? So I mean, you
Well, I think, and maybe we're getting out of pocket here a little bit, but I think some things have changed permanently, and
I
some
do.
things will go back to the way they were.
I do too. There's still some old habits that are hard to break. First thing that comes out when I see somebody is my handshake, and you not supposed to.
Yeah,
do
you're
that
not supposed to do that right now. And,
Right. So
and,
but I hope that comes back.
Well, somebody, it may have been you, said the handshake survived the Spanish flu, and it'll
Right.
survive this
Exactly.
eventually.
It will. I don't think that was me, but that is true. That is true. So that's some of the good things. The economy took a hit there in March and April. We had a lot of people laid off and at home not working. Our factories were shuttered. But from all indications, I've talked to several of our manufacturers in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they're all back working. A lot of them's working 6 days a week. So those wheels are back turning and good. Our businesses, our restaurants are back open and doing what they're supposed to be. Our hairdressers and those guys, they're back open, following the guidelines.
As a matter of fact, I made a list, and I just went down through, and Mayor, I'm going to do this during your session here.
Okay.
And if you are a business in Smith County and I did not name you on this list, please let me know, and I will put you on this list. But here's people that are up and running, ready for business. Teresa's Gifts, Smith County Help Center, #Hollies, The Candy Bar, Ebel's Tavern, Kim's Frame and Art, Middle Tennessee Office Equipment, Smith County Hardware, Rojas Kitchen, DT McCall's, Tennessee Kayak and Outdoors, The Timber Loft, Gordonsville Drugs, Smith Farmers Co-op, Cumberland Athletic Club, Artswear, Cumberland Supply, Custom Graphics, Studio 25, Michael and Hannah's, Tennessee Lawn and Landscape, Donahoe's Mufflers, Hackett's Discount Drugs, Shoulders Motor Company, Pleasant Shade Cafe, Defeated Creek Marine and Campground, the Sparta Greek Grill just opened up.
Yes.
It's a new business
Very
down
good.
on Highway 70.
It's kind of different, kind of new for Smith
It's
County,
really
but
good.
It's really good.
Yeah, and and all of our big box.
If you've not tried a year-old, try it.
Yeah, and all of our big box, like your McDonald's and
Right.
your Walmarts and they're all open
Back
and
to
open
work.
for business. So
Yeah.
Smith County is definitely open, and you can come here and get what you want. Now, they're all following precautions
They're following the guidelines.
and doing the guidelines and doing what they can to keep people safe. But
Yes.
Smith County is doing well through this, I think.
We have, there's still that, we don't know what's, we don't know what's coming. Is there a another dip coming? The rebounds came back. Is it going to stay on an upward trend, or will it drop back off again? We don't know. Sales tax numbers, we got our latest ones. We didn't take a dip in sales tax numbers, so our businesses, they stayed open, was open and doing business, and so our sales tax dollars. And one of the things that, Smith County, and you and I talked about this before, is, we have some tourist dollars, but we're not
dependent on it.
We're a user-based sales tax user thing. Your Walmarts, your grocery stores, your restaurants, your Cumberland Supplies, your DT McCall's. Those guys, they've been busy and open, and because
Yeah, and you know, we're blessed. We've got two wonderful big grocery establishments here. Safeway out on Highway 25, Todd and Angela Skurlock out there. Been in the community long as I can remember. Wonderful store out there. You got Walmart over here.
Community dollar stores.
Yeah, you got all these dollar stores that are out here. We're blessed.
Yes, yeah.
We truly are.
You know, I proposed early on in March probably April, after attending, I've been on conference calls and Zoom meetings and webinars, it seems like every day since the 1st of March, but that's okay. You know, after listening to a lot of that and economists and guidance from the state and asking other questions of the mayors, you know, Smith County is going to pass basically a no-growth budget. You'll see a little increase, but that's off of state mandate increases. But there was also some cuts that were done. We cut some money out of some budgets that we're able to do. So, you know, we should pass the same budget we passed last year and keep going. One of the exciting things about the budget, and I'll got to just do a little bit about that. This year, Smith County government will not have to borrow a tax anticipation note to start the year. We have money in the bank to get us through until taxes start being collected in October again.
First time in my memory.
But you know, and that's a testament to people working hard and getting things done. So we thank the taxpayers for that, and also for, you know, department heads and elected officials managing their budget to able to have that kind of cash. So we're working hard on getting that problem. We had a little problem last year, and we had a 3-year plan to get it. And if the economy doesn't go off the tracks, we should be there in 2. So hopefully that'll speed that recovery back up.
And I've said this before, and I believe I live in one of the greatest states in the United States, Tennessee, and we've had a balanced budget forever, and no income tax. And Smith County, I believe, is one of the best counties to live in.
It is.
And I believe this mandate that we have to have a balanced budget, I think it's a good thing.
It is.
And I believe we're doing well.
One of the things that came out of all of this was the governor in the legislature has gave some one-time monies to the counties and the cities as well. So we're going to get probably somewhere around $820,000 in one-time money. That's going to go into our capital projects fund. That we're, number one, we're buying a new tanker for Central District Fire Department. Our tanker was wore out. They've been fighting fires with rust coming through there, so we're going to replace that, paid for when it gets here. Then there's some other equipment that we'll, you know, maybe get to buy for some other departments that's been needing some equipment that hadn't got their equipment lately. So maybe the highway department gets some things in that so we can get our roads fixed back. So.
Well, and we've got new industry.
Oh yeah, it's been, you know, that's one thing about it, Bill. You and I both have been on several recruiting industry visits in the last couple of weeks. 3 weeks, we've had a lot of activity in the industrial park and our open buildings, so that's a good thing. And we also did one new business for sure, and that's AFS, American Foundation Services, a Ben Bayless company. They came in shortly after they lost a building in the tornado and was needing a building, and they purchased a building in our industrial park.
Which means they're staying.
That means they're staying. There's a lot of trucks and cars in there every day, so we're excited to have those guys. With all the pandemic, we've not had a chance to do a ribbon cutting or a full-blown welcome. And you know, talking with Ben a couple times, they were so busy at that time in the backlog, they didn't really have time to stop to move, but they made it happen. So we're excited to have those guys here. And you know, our businesses are just, you know, Rackley Roofing is busy they've been busy through this. So you know, it's a good thing.
Well, and
we're excited about hopefully some good things that we think may be coming.
Yeah, the one that you and I can't talk about.
Right, we hope it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's very excited about what's coming in the future.
We are some new things that be good for Smith County.
Okay, well, I don't know that I think we're pretty well getting.
Low on time. Me and you talk a lot.
That's true.
That's true.
Mayor, is there anything that we've missed that you'd like to mention?
No, we've said this from the beginning. We urge you to follow those recommendations and guidelines that's been put out by people a lot smarter than us, and continue to do those things. Wash your hands, keep your distance. just be smart, use common sense, and don't live in fear.
Yeah,
We're going
exactly.
to get through this, and we'll be better for it.
Well, you know, there's a difference. My dad, when we were on the farm, we had a very large bull, and he taught me I didn't need to fear the bull, but I did need to respect it.
Absolutely, yes.
And there is a difference there.
There is a big difference.
And we don't need to fear this.
No.
We need to respect it and learn what we need to do personally to take care of that.
That's right.
And another thing, in America, and especially in Smith County, we're all independent souls here, and
Sure.
we love our freedom.
We do.
And we don't like people telling us what
No,
to do, but I will
government
tell you,
overreach is not a good thing.
but we're smart enough to figure out what we should do.
Sure, yes.
Like when you was talking about people coming out and helping people in a tornado, that's the kind of folks that live
That's
in
right.
Smith
They'll
County.
do that. Yeah, I still believe we will do what's right and take care of it.
I believe that too with all my heart. So I guess,
I don't want to ever stop believing that.
yeah. On that note, I think we'll probably end. Mayor, thank you for coming.
you, Bill.
And I know you love Smith County, and
do.
I know I do. And folks, if you're out there, you live in a great place,
do.
and thank God for every one of you.
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you.